Hello everyone, and welcome to another super complete selection animation video. This time I'm going to be going over why you should or should not buy the newly released super complete selection animation D-Ark Digivice, and also if you should buy the upcoming super complete selection animation releases such as the D-Scanner, which is being released next year. Now, I did already do a full unboxing of the three D-Ark Super Complete Selection Animation Digivices, so I won't be doing a full overview and unboxing, and I won't be comparing it to all the other D-Ark releases and D-Power releases. If you want to see that, that's already in my unboxing video. It's about half an hour in length, but also YouTube decided to completely unsync the audio from the video, so the audio is a little bit out of sync, but in terms of going over what it is, you can probably still get the general idea from that video, so I won't be going over too much that I've already gone over. I'll mainly be answering if you should or shouldn't buy it, and why you should or shouldn't. So I've also got here one of the regular complete selection animation Digivices. This is one of the ones released around the time of Try. We did get a few Try ones, we also got a Kazuna one, and we also got two Try D3s for TK and Kari. So if you want to see an overview of that, I've also done a video on what those are and what they do. But more or less, the just standard CSAs just kind of make noise, play music, and the screen just kind of lights up, but that's all it does. It's just a light with a background that's already there. The display doesn't change at all, and it just kind of makes noises, and it's pretty cool. It's show accurate, so it's a good cosplay prop if you cosplay, and it's a pretty cool display piece because, again, it is more accurate than the Digivice pedometer-based toys. However, one of the bits of confusion is that these aren't pedometer quest-based toys, and they're not virtual pets. I know a lot of people were confused about that when the original CSAs were announced, as well as the SCSAs. So they're not pedometer toys, so if you're expecting a pedometer toy, do not get it, because it's not one, and if you're expecting virtual pet, also don't get one. It's kind of like basically a more advanced version of this. So in any case, here it is, and here is just the standard original release D-Ark from Japan. Just for a quick comparison, again, if you want to see it being compared with the other D-Arks and D-Power releases, check out my other unboxing video for all three of the SCSAs. So the main difference is that the SCSA D-Ark is a lot bigger. It doesn't have the prongs on the side there because it doesn't need to. And it's also a much brighter shade of red. It's almost orange in a way. The clip is more or less the same. It's a tiny bit longer, I think, on the SCSA, but not too much of a difference there. And the buttons are more or less the same. It's still got the on-off button, and it's also got a place to swipe the cards, but it is a lot longer. And as for the back of it, it's much smoother. The only thing that it doesn't have that this one has that is in the show is the port at the top. In the show it does sort of appear and reappear as it's used, but the SCSA doesn't have this. The functionality for this was for the WonderSwan connectivity, and that was pretty cool, but it obviously isn't as used anymore because the WonderSwan's a fairly old game system at this point. The American D-Power did have a port there too. It was a 2.5mm cable, I believe, but again, that's not used too much. Again, if you want to see more of the comparison, check out that video. The version 15th and the European and Southeast Asian releases don't have anything there, they're just plain. But anyway, so if you like the idea that this is a show-accurate toy that shows show-accurate animations, and I guess you can afford, it's quite a bit expensive. It's about 3 times the price as the regular CSAs. These came out for under 100, and these were about 200 or so to import. So a little bit more than the original CSAs, but they do also do a lot more. You can see that the screens have actual displays rather than just having a static background that appears when it lights up, and it has a lot more sounds. You can have Colormon, Digimon, which is just Gilmon. The thing I'm noticing is that the sound quality is a little bit fuzzier than on the CSA, which is interesting enough. I would have thought the quality of the sound to be better, but it's not too bad. The cool thing is that it show accurate animations that appear in the shows, such as if you go to Evolution, or it's also, interestingly enough, it uses the dub names. So if we go to Matrix Evolution, it lights up as it does in the show, which is fairly cool. So if you are a big fan of Tamers, absolutely get this. However, this is more or less the limit of the gameplay. The card slash mechanic itself is also quite cool. I think that that's probably the main point of interest, I would say, for it, other than the fact that it shows animations from the show on it. So if you are a huge Tamers fan, you will probably absolutely adore this. But again, don't expect any game. You don't have to unlock anything, so there's no level of progression or game. The Gilmon on the start does change depending on what you've evolved to, but again, that's not a game. Something that I didn't show off in the original video was the fact that you actually can go to card slash by holding this button and then doing that, which apparently it didn't like. Maybe I had it the wrong way around. Maybe I have to wait for the sound. There we go. So the way I was triggering card slashes in my original video was I was just swiping them, which does trigger the animation, but I complained that it doesn't, show it. So you can do it like this. But it sort of launches straight into that, and I thought it would have been cooler if the sound started beforehand, but then when I was playing around after I finished the video, I noticed that it could actually, you could actually trigger it by just holding this button down, which I guess is my fault for not reading the instruction manual. So again, you actually have to be patient for the sound to start, which makes sense. And see, that's much smoother than just swiping the card. I think that's a pretty cool effect. I kind of wish I played around with it more on the video itself. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Another thing that you'll love if you are a big fan of Tamers is you can go to Digimon Explained, and it shows the little Digimon analyzer for the main cast of Digimon. And Takado does a little reading of the analyzer for that. It would have been cool if they had more Digimon rather than just the partner Digimon, but I still think that's fairly cool. There's also no Megadramon, which is the Dark evolution for Gilmon. It just goes Megalogrowlmon to Dukemon. Something else that's from the show is this Digimon search, which the characters use to find a Digimon. I don't think there's any functionality there. It's just a cool thing that shows you something from the show. An interesting thing that I did notice was it comes with an instruction book, which I've misplaced, but yes, I put it apparently far away, but it, interestingly enough, is in red text for Takados, blue text for Ruki's, and for Lee, it's in grey text. I thought that was kind of funny. I don't know why they didn't just use a dark green instead of grey, so that was kind of fun, but that's something I noticed only when packing up. And there's also the range of settings, which isn't super interesting. And then it goes back to the evolution where you can see those evolution animations, but you can also trigger them by using the various NFC cards. And you can also play music from the soundtrack here. And you get the special Digimon version of One Vision, which obviously changes depending on which Super CSA you have. If you have the Lee one, you get the St. Galdemon version, and same with the Ruki one, you'll get the Sakuyamon version. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. That's a way to show the songs. There's more songs than the CSAs had. They only had Butterfly and Braveheart. This one has much more. And yeah, so pretty cool. You just have to be patient when you trigger the card slash for the music to start. And the animation is pretty cool. But the only complaint I have is the music and sound quality is a little bit fuzzy, which I kind of would expect it to be a little bit clearer, especially because it feels fuzzier than this one. But in any case, those are my thoughts on the Super CSA and anything that I hadn't covered in my initial unboxing video, especially because it was 1, a bit long-winded, and 2, YouTube decided to mess up the audio. So hopefully YouTube doesn't mess up the audio this time. And yeah, so hopefully this was a decent enough video. So all in all, should you get it, if you are a collector or a cosplayer and you've got the money to afford it, then you should absolutely get it. I love the CSA series, and I'm really glad that they improved on the original CSAs. I'm glad that there's more functionality. I'm really looking forward to the D-Scanner ones. I've already got them both on pre-order from Zen and TCG, so that's really exciting. There's been videos uploaded to Bandai's official Twitter account showing the gameplay for the Super CSA D-Scanner, and it looks really cool. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how they implement the scanning functionality and what kind of features and functionality they'll have. I almost said gameplay, but it isn't really gameplay. So if you find anything that I've talked about in this video boring, then basically the Super CSA isn't for you. And if you do like Tamers but you're not interested by this, just watch Tamers. You could effectively have the same experience as just watching it, because it just shows animations from the show. So if you love watching animations from the show on YouTube or whatever, you'll probably love this. It also gives you a good hit of nostalgia if you have that nostalgia for the Super CSA. But yeah, I'm a fan of these, but I don't expect everyone to be, because a lot of people do still like the ones that have the gameplay. I'm just a fan of these in terms of a collector point of view. They look great on the shelf, they look great with the rest of my collection, and when I cosplay, they're nice cosplay pieces as well, because they're a little bit more show accurate, they're a good size, they show up better in photos because they're the better size, but overall you can get the same sort of effect with this. In fact, I actually have cosplayed with my blue D-Ark original. But in any case, that's it for this video. Let me know your thoughts and comments about the Super CSA future and past releases. Let me know all that and more in the comments below. Like this video, because hopefully the audio is in tune this time, or in sync. Subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!